And welcome back to the DrossCast podcast. We are the Dross Squad. I am Slay. I have with me Akko.
The God Taco is God.
Oh. I also have Bob.
Yo.
And I also have Cat. Meow. And that, folks, was our intro. Pretty boring.
Boop, boop.
But we are getting right into our subject, which is the
obnoxious drumming noises for an hour straight.
That was not a nat 20.
Myers-Briggs personality test.
It's a D12, so no, it's not.
D20.
That's a D20.
Oh, never mind. Looked at 12. It's fine.
Myers-Briggs and personality test.
Yes. So, for those of you who are listening at home and are not very familiar with the Myers-Briggs, although I feel like it's a relatively popular personality test, it's actually probably, I would say, one of the most popular personality tests. It's the one that gives you the 4 letters, the E, N, J ones, the E, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but that one that gives you all the 4 letters, and it kind of tells you roundedly what your personality is.
Is it bad if I have 5 letters?
Well, no. So the personality test, free personality test we took added, what was it? Aggressive and
It's turbulent as T.
Turbulent.
I think I screenshotted it.
And assertive.
Favorite. Yeah, assertive.
Assertive, and which is not the original Myers-Briggs, but this was free, and I couldn't find my psychology notes where I had the actual test. So this was a good substitute. Has any of you guys, I guess out of the 4 of us, I've taken the Myers-Briggs multiple times, just because I was a psych minor, and I find that stuff really, really interesting. That's the whole reason I went into psych, is the social aspect of it, and how people's personalities work in correlation with others, and how that whole science is. So, have you guys ever taken the Myers-Briggs before?
I think you made me take it when you first got it, like in your psych class, because I remember doing it at your parents' house.
Yeah, I
on
did.
paper, but I don't remember like anything that was in it. And then we just did it again, obviously for this podcast. But I never had to do it in school. I had never heard of it until you told me about it. So I guess I'm a noob at psych. I guess. I mean, I did take gen psych, so.
Well, look at you go. I'm surprised in gen psych they didn't have you take the Myers-Briggs. It's super popular. I feel like every psych teacher loves to just have everyone take the Myers-Briggs. Have you guys taken it before?
Probably. I mean, well, I've taken a lot of psychology classes, so I've had to have probably done it then, but you've made me take a lot of things in the past, so it might have been one of them.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, probably.
How about you, Akko?
I don't know. I took some type of test, but I don't know what it was.
Okay, so nobody actually.
Because I met
knows.
with like a person, but it wasn't.
No,
online.
that was different.
That was a
No,
drug
that's
test.
different.
Oh shit! What did I have?
No, that was like through your church, though, your parents'
Is there
church.
an STD test?
No.
Yeah, it was like a pastor or minister or something.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The one that you got all the papers and it said you like things in pretty packages. It doesn't matter what the contents are inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is spot on.
Yeah. Thanks.
That was also
what
a
does
very,
that say
very
about
scary
me?
test.
Yeah.
Well, that's
They're
what
pretty
they're.
packaged.
I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to answer the questions, and it's supposed to represent you.
Yep.
So, I guess the history behind the Myers-Briggs is it was a test kind of conceived by 2 American women, a mother and daughter duo, that came up with this test to kind of organize people into 16 different personality types based on certain attributes, which we will run through. I thought we could go through our results as a whole first and then break down more specifically each part within it. So I thought we could just run through what all of our letters are.
Cool. Okay.
Cool.
You start us off, Slay all day.
All right. So I am an ESTJ. So extrovert, sensory, thinking, and judging.
Hey, we have one in common.
Judging.
Oh,
Look at
sensing, not censoring. Sensing. So extrovert, sensing, thinking, and judging are mine.
Makes sense.
And then an A, but I don't think that surprises
Nope.
anybody.
Not at all.
Assertive.
Yes.
So mine is ISFJ-T, so introvert. What's
You
it?
can click
S?
on the.
Sensing.
Oh, can I just click on it?
You can click
You're
on
a liar.
that.
What
No.
are they? I introvert.
What is the S?
Sensing.
Sensing. Okay,
No.
feeling.
Yep.
Judging.
Yep.
Turbulent.
Because my S says observant,
Sensing. Yes.
sensing.
Yeah, but it says observant for whatever reason.
Oh yeah. Okay.
On this website is what but it's still showing.
So the two options for that category is either an S or an N. So you're either sensing, which is a more perspective, like I have to view things, I have to physically see them in order for that information to be like communicated to me, or intuitive, which is I feel this way and therefore I believe it.
Okay.
Intuitive.
So
What letter does that start with?
N.
Okay, cool.
Why do I have a strategy? Okay, we'll get into it. You guys finish with your letters.
Okay. So I have ISTP, introverted, observant, thinking, prospecting, and I got by a small margin turbulent. Somehow it should be. I'm not assertive at all. I should not be that close to being assertive.
I'm more turbulent than you,
But-
which I don't think is accurate.
How do you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because oh my gosh.
Oh.
How do you know?
Oh.
Intuition.
Yeah.
We just knew the percentages. Like, I'm feeling about 68% turbulent today.
I see.
Okay.
Oh no.
Go, what are your letters?
So my letters are ENFPT. I'm an input.
So extrovert,
E doesn't surprise
Intuitive.
me.
feeling, and what was the last one?
P.
Perceiving. So, dang, outside of our introvert extrovert, we are complete opposites.
Yep.
I think same thing with you. How many do I match with you?
2, I think.
Okay, so I'm
S, J?
closer. Yeah, S and J, and then my husband. I don't think I match with anything. Did he get? He got Well, he got
Because
sensing.
I think the ones that
thinking.
Yeah, but you got feeling, didn't you?
No.
What?
He said no.
Well, he walked away, so I can't actually ask him about his results. But
anyway,
anyways,
check on your baby.
so I thought a second thing would be how popular is our personality type. I looked that up. I compared it to other U.S. General public, and so
I'm guessing mine's about 13%.
Yeah, did you have that already?
It was
at
like
your fingertips.
Yeah. Well, it was listed when I first read through it.
You are 13%. You said you had ISFJ. That is the most popular personality type.
Wow, I'm so basic.
Basic.
That is the most popular personality type with 13% of the U.S. population holding it. That is taking the test anyways. Yeah. How interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty fucking lame.
So you had ENTP, right?
For me?
Yes.
ENFP.
ENFP. ENFP. So you have 8%, which is pretty middle of the road.
Cool.
So
So basically, half of us decided to actually take this test.
well, no, of all the people that took the test, 8% of them are...
But we would be number one if we all took the test.
Bob, what was yours again?
The letters? I had ISTPT.
ISTP.
Introverted,
ISTP.
observant, thinking,
So
prospecting.
so far, Bob, you have the rarest with only 5%
Ooh.
of the population
I know.
holding that.
Or is it because his population doesn't do the tests?
I don't think that's how this works.
No.
You need to. So what you?
I have ESTJ, which is also pretty middle of the road, and about 8% of the population holds ESTJ.
Well, I'm the most basic bitch, so.
Yes. Kat has
Well, I
the
wish
most
I could
popular personality.
find them again because it says like other people you may know who has
Oh.
like
Right.
this trait.
I know
I
all of mine.
I had
They were cool.
Daniel Craig and James Bond and Indiana Jones and Arya Stark. Like I'm fucking lit. Go blow yourself.
I had
Arya
Judge
Stark?
Judy,
Who you
and
got
that's
better?
all I remember.
I had fucking Beyonce.
Doug Judy?
So
Yeah,
She had Doug Judy.
she did.
I had Beyonce and I had Catelyn Stark. That's all I remember.
You had Rob Stark.
I had Rob
So,
Stark.
Yeah. I had some
Which
weirdo.
it should have been Cersei. Do they just have Starks? Like, there's other characters in
Yeah,
there.
that is weird.
You should have been Cersei.
I didn't have any
Or, I'm
Starks.
sorry, Cersei's.
Or any Game of Thrones characters.
What was yours?
I had Robin Williams, Robert Downey Jr., Will Smith, and who was the last one that was big?
Ooh, I also had Harriet Tubman.
Oh, look at you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
and guy from Modern Family,
Oh, Phil Dunphy.
Phil Dunphy. Yeah.
Nice. That makes sense.
Yeah. I saw it, I was like, yeah.
There you go. So, I guess broad strokes, what does it say about your personality? Do you guys remember?
Evidently not. So I had it email me my results, but it literally just has like the percentages.
That's okay. Do you remember kind of
Defender.
summarize what it said about yourself?
It said that like I'm introverted, but I'm very social for an introverted person. Like they said that, like they kept pointing out how unusual it is that I'm social because I'm an introvert.
Well, you still like people, and you still...
I just am very selective about people I like, I guess. So I think it's what it's trying to say is I still go out and I do things, but I don't like assert myself into like rando conversations at the bar. Like I just stick to my people. So like I still am going on doing social things, but I'm doing it with my people.
Right. You go out and socialize, but you're not necessarily like the spotlighted person at said event.
Yeah. So like I'm a good supporter, like helping
Supporter.
I can see that. I can see that.
people. Like helping people through stuff, and that was kind of like the gist of it. Basically, I care for my family a lot, and that's like one of the
You're
biggest
very
things.
kind. Wasn't that in your horoscopes?
Yeah, I don't know. Sure, yeah. I'm a sweetheart.
Cat, America's next sweetheart.
Yeah. Basic bitch.
My introduction is nothing like me. I don't know how... Like, I answered honestly all the questions, but I got something... Apparently I'm supposed to be, but I'm not.
Okay.
Which is handyman.
Oh.
Like,
No.
I build stuff and I like to get my hands dirty, and that's not true. Although it does say that my kind love to explore with their hands and their eyes, touching and examining the world around them.
Okay, so you need to not think so literally with this. So what it's
I know, I'm
saying
thinking about women,
is
like
your...
I do.
No.
You.
So what it's
Ooh, I found
talking
my
about
stuff.
is more... Oh, there you go.
Where'd you find it?
I just went back to the website and then clicked on it.
No, but it also goes...
Ooh, Queen Elizabeth II, just saying.
It
Aretha
also-
Franklin. Vin Diesel.
Mine does go into talking about often mechanics and engineers are this type.
Right,
It talks
and that's
about
and
that
that's
stuff.
more focusing on the sensory and thinking part,
Yeah.
kind of, because you are more of a very, for lack of a better word, simple.
Thank you.
So you go with what you can hear, feel, touch, observe. Anything that is tangible right in front of you, you tend to lean more heavily on and find more reliable,
Indeed.
versus like the abstract thoughts of like what if situations or thinking necessarily about the future. I don't think you've been a very in the moment type of person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever known you as like a forward thinker or somebody that's like planning life events out well into the future.
No.
Right. And so
Absolutely
that's what it's talking about when it's saying like doing things with your hands. It's not necessarily like you should be like you are a carpenter and a handyman. It's more you deal with the present and you deal with the tangible.
Sure. That sounds more like me.
Right.
Did we have to sign up to do this? I don't remember.
Here, give me your phone.
Oh, I did
Give
find
me
them.
your phone. Yeah, right?
Hey.
I was just looking through mine again. I had some cool people. I fucking Vin Diesel, so suck it.
I got
Everybody
Olivia
else.
Wilde holding a chakram.
It's not a chakram though,
What?
because it's a hexagon. The chakram is very clearly round.
No. What?
It's okay.
What is that then?
It's a
What would you call
hexagon.
it? Well, look at the shapes of
It
them.
literally looks like a
They're
nut. Like, you know. Like,
yes. Yeah.
She's holding a nut.
Yeah. It's a hexagon vagina.
What? I don't think.
No, I'm just
Duh.
saying it's the art style. Like if it was actual other stuff, it would be.
So
a
out
circle.
of the did you know in this thing, for mine it just says, prefer being called weird to being like everyone else. Have a lot of varied hobbies.
There you go.
Try to live like there is no tomorrow. Wear bright and colorful clothes.
As you're sitting in gray and black.
I know.
That's his work clothes.
Yeah.
This is my
That
work
doesn't
clothes.
count.
That's true.
I don't
That's
get a
true.
choice in that. Believe everyone can be successful if they try hard enough. based off of that. Oh, hey, there's the whole thing, though.
I know we're all just like going to our characters, like, but mainly,
Yeah.
Pam from The Office is me. Will Turner
Pam.
from Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know what that is. Captain America, Dr.
Who's the other
Watson.
one?
Which one?
You
This
said?
bitch. Tris Marigold.
Oh, never saw that.
Oh, yeah, Michael Scott.
Nice.
Yeah. And
We'll move
Spider-Man.
on. What do we want to talk
I
about?
enjoy it.
I know you don't want to spend the
No, that's
thing
fine.
talking about our characters.
No, that's fine. I mean, it's part of your personality traits. It's,
Oh.
it's people you are similar to.
Peter.
Yeah.
Balls.
Oh.
From the Hunger Games?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know you were so...
Willy Wonka.
Oh, jeez.
I own a chocolate factory.
I-
Fuck yes.
You gave it away.
And I have slaved midgets.
Yeah. Did you see the end of the movie?
I mean, you
Where he
married
gave
Kat.
it to Charlie? It's not
I'm not a
yours
midget.
anymore.
You're pretty small.
5'5", that's pretty average height.
Oh. You're small to me.
Oh, well, that's good.
Rude.
I just enjoy the Robin Williams.
There you go. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Was there anything in your overalls that was... I mean, Bob, you needed some clarification.
Yep.
Did anybody else find anything odd?
I don't really think. I mean, I don't know. There were some things that I guess I didn't think screamed me, but it wasn't something that was like so far away that like I couldn't get where it would get it from.
I guess mine would be, it says I'm fiercely independent, which is not true.
Not in the sense that, like, you could go on your own, but you're fiercely independent in the fact that you don't really care what other people would necessarily think of you. So, you would wear your Pokemon t-shirts to literally anywhere and not give any fucks.
True.
Oh, here's one. It says, like, so I went in under strengths and weaknesses, and for my strengths, one of them is patient.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, whatever!
I am not a patient person.
Yes, you are.
I don't think
You
so.
put up with a ton. Look at who you married.
That's true, but that's...
And she's always yelling at him.
yeah, that's
He's
what I
not
mean. I'm not, it's not a, yeah.
Oh, here's the strength of
I
real.
don't know. I feel like in our friendships too, you tend to be the most patient one.
Maybe. What does fucking altruistic mean? Because apparently I'm too much of that, and it's a weakness.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that means.
That
That's
is
a big
all
word.
compounded and reinforced by Defender's otherwise wonderful quality of altruism. Being such a warm, good-natured people, Defenders are willing to let things slide, to believe that things will get better soon, to not burden others by accepting their offers to help while their troubles mount unassisted. I don't get what, like, okay.
Oh
that's
my
fine.
god, this is so scary.
So it's basically selfless.
I'm scared reading this stuff.
Which, I mean, you're very judgy and you have a very low threshold for bullshit. However, that's translated into, I'm not gonna burn bridges over it.
Yeah.
Like, you acknowledge it and you move on.
I guess.
And you kind of let it lie for the sake of getting along.
Because I don't have the patience to argue with people.
It can be seen both ways.
Wow.
Oh my god.
So, I guess I could talk about mine since I wanted to do this and I didn't even get to talk about mine. So, I'm a bitch.
Duh.
Oh.
I mean, what?
What was that?
As I'm
Yeah.
currently just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding it difficult to focus.
Yeah.
Taco God.
Oh, that's 100%.
Yep.
As I was like completely
why I have no
irrelevant
patience.
for like that last entire conversation, I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean by bitch? You just mean like you're...
They said
You know
like
what she
the
means.
traditional stern father figure is my personality type. So, you have expectations, you have goals, you set them, you meet them, and you expect everyone else to be at your level.
So, Bob, does Slay have a whipping belt in the bedroom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A few of them.
Certain father figure.
Yep.
Got it?
Yep.
Ah, this took a weird turn.
Yeah.
So I guess we could now dive into our individual traits at a time. So first one starting with E and I's. So this is probably the most recognized difference is whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. There's a lot of talk about that. And the room is actually 50-50 split here because we have Kat and Bob that were introverts, and then myself and Akko that were expressed as extroverts.
Yeah.
Just barely, I like to say.
Just barely an extrovert?
I think.
What's your percentage?
64%.
That's pretty.
That's pretty. I mean, I would say barely as if it was like 51.
Oh. So, like, turbulent, I'm 51%?
Yeah, so you're barely turbulent.
Wow. Akko's pretty almost assertive. Am I the only one that got assertive out of the
Sure are.
three of
Yeah.
us?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, fuck me. Okay. So, I didn't take that, and I also didn't have them email my results because I just didn't realize that that's what everyone else was doing. So all I know is that I was an extrovert. I think if I had to guess, I would rate pretty high as an extrovert, just because I do, based on my own personality, I tend to draw a lot from people. So I get energy from others. I have a hard time really keeping my energy up when I'm alone, which is kind of the definition of like an extrovert or an introvert. It's not necessarily, do I like getting along with people? I hate people. I want to be in my room all day. It's more energy based and how you gather your energy.
Yeah.
So I gather my energy from others. I find that pretty true.
I find that even true even when I'm, like, technically by myself. Because even when I'm by myself playing video games, like, I could do that for, like, 48 hours. But technically, those video games I'm playing are with online people, so I'm still socially... It's not just me. I'm still talking to people.
But think about it, if you were in a... Like, if you were only playing a video game that wasn't online...
Well, that's the thing.
Would you be more bored?
Yes. I lose interest faster.
Right, because you're not having interactions with other people, which is where you get your energy from.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like, I could see it.
I don't get how I'm not 100% introverted. Like, mine's 79, which is pretty high, but I'm like, I could sit in my room and not be bothered for a week straight, and I would be perfectly content to do so.
Well, you can be content. Like, I'm content sitting in my room, like, reading or fucking around on my phone, but it's, do you get, I guess, joy from that? And I would say yes. You would get joy from that. You wouldn't necessarily sit there and be like, oh my god, I wasted my day. Where I feel like if I sit in my room and just like even around the house, if I just sit in the house while Bob is sleeping because he had the night shift and I'm just doing chores, I feel like that was the dumbest day because I did nothing.
Yeah. Like, you might have joy at first, being like, I'm accomplishing something, but then eventually you go, this was pointless.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, I think another part of that, which, I don't know, maybe that's not what the test is looking for, but, like, even when I'm with people, I'd rather, like, just hang out. I'd rather hang out at your guys' house than, like, go to a bar. Like, I'd still rather be more secluded.
Yeah. That's just because being around all those people wear you out.
Yeah.
It's
people
not
are
where you're
fucking
getting your
stupid.
energy from. It's not that you don't like people, it's just...
Oh, I
it's
don't
a lot of
like
energy.
people.
Yeah.
I got on the wrong.
I like
career
very
field.
selective people. I think that's like, I think you're probably similar where like the people you like, but you're selective about it.
Yeah, very.
And then other people you just don't put up with.
Yeah.
I think, but one thing that 3 of the 4, well now, Akko, you're starting to, but I think working retail kind of gives everybody a little bit of that.
I
I
You
was
deal
going
with
to
a
say,
lot of
that's
stupid
not
people.
necessarily true, because there are people I do not like, and I am very upfront about it.
Oh, I don't think you like everyone, but I think you're, I don't know.
I'm more open to meeting new people in a new
Yeah.
environment.
And kissing they ass.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
You're
I'm
right.
such a brown
You
noser.
are.
It's not even, like, I'm
What?
self-admitted.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta play those cards right, man. You gotta fucking kiss ass. I don't even feel bad about it.
I don't even know.
So you climb the ladder.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't like people. I don't want to talk to new people. When they talk to me, I try to cut that shit off real quick by just giving them nothing. I don't want to talk. I like the friends I have, and that's all I want.
So, aka the Dross Squad.
Yes, precisely.
Well, and I think that's one thing I don't agree with this test is because it kept saying how like kind I am, and I mean, yeah, I'm not like a total cunt. I'm a nice person in general, I guess, but like I don't see myself as being like super kind and gentle and selfless all the time. Like I said, I could be content to just sit by myself for a week straight and not feel like I've wasted time or not feel depressed. Like I'm just like, oh, this is great. Like I can read what I want, I can watch what I want, I can just be a bum and nobody's here to judge me. This is great.
Yeah.
But think about it in our 4-core friend group. Not the Dross squad, but our 4-core friend group. Who is the most supportive one? Who does everyone go to when they have issues?
Well, that depends. Are they issues with me?
No.
Are they
ever issues with you? Who has
I don't
never
know.
had a beef with you?
I mean, everyone has their moments. Yeah, I mean, I get that, I guess. But I think of it, but then again, I only have, as far as, like, friends from growing up, I only have 3 friends.
Well, right, but that's due to your introverted nature. So you are, out of the 4 of us, you are the kind, supportive one. Yeah. That is your role in our friend
I would
group.
argue that H is also nicer than me, but...
That's, yeah. I mean...
yeah, she is.
Yeah,
she is.
100%.
But in a very different way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. I'm more of a supportive, like, I'll help you through your problems, but I'm not just genuinely, like, if I don't like you, I'm not just going to be nice to you just because I want to be nice to you.
H is extremely empathetic.
Yeah.
If you need somebody, a shoulder to cry on and somebody to cry with you, that is H. H will be there for you. She is that, like, emotional support. You take on kind of the more... like motherly role where we go to you with our problems and we need somebody to talk through with them, and you will listen, you will tell us what you think, but you're also very supportive about that. You're encouraging, and you're very, I guess, motherly, which is what I find the defender kind of leaning towards.
Okay. I mean, those all sound like nice things, so I guess I'm cool with that.
All right.
On the flip side, I think if we're talking about the 4 OG friend girl group, then it makes sense with you being the no bullshit one. Because I feel like that's kind of one of us is gonna be like, oh, how does my hair look? And it looks atrocious. Slay's gonna come to you and be like, you look like a dumpster fire. Fix it before we leave. Yeah. Obviously, you probably would say it. Well, I don't know.
It depends on which one she's talking.
Yeah, it depends on which of us you're talking to. But I think as far as if we needed somebody to help us get shit done, you'd be the one we'd go to. It would I wouldn't go to S or H if I'm like, oh, I'm planning an event and I need help with ideas or execution. I feel like you'd be the first stop shop, one-stop shop for all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I get shit done, so
Yep.
I don't. Yep. I would gladly take that role. Akko, how do you feel about
he has problems focusing? Remember,
extroversion, introversion.
Oh, I feel like it's pretty spot on.
I agree. I think we can all agree that probably out of the Dross squad, Akko, you are the most extroverted.
Yep. I talk to customers like no tomorrow. I spent 2 hours talking to a person today.
Yeah, see, if a freaking sales associate at a store talks to me for 2 hours, I want to deck them in the face. Because, I got shit to do.
Oh, this person wanted me to leave, but I was so bored. So I just kept bringing new things
you're
up.
one of those.
You're a bad person.
You're one of the people
Akko.
that I hate.
You're a bad person.
They wanted me to leave.
Knows he's a
But I'm
nuisance. Is okay with
resilient.
it.
I am persistent.
We were playing a game of chicken and I won.
Yeah.
I did.
So, the next one is either an S or an N, which is sensing or intuition. Now, I think this one is the one I was talking to Bob about earlier, about what, working with hands.
I still don't
So,
understand it.
mine's an S, but on, the percentage, it calls it observant versus intuitive.
Right, because observant... Right. So... That's just a different way. Observant and sensing is the same thing. It's still observing and sensing the physical.
Yeah.
So I have to... What is actually in front of me is what I take information from.
Yeah.
Is kind of what that is categorizing on. Where the inverse of that is how I feel is how I'm taking information.
Nope. No, I definitely got observant, and I think that's spot on.
Yeah,
Kylie,
everyone
You got the same
did.
percent.
Everyone did
nice.
except for Akko.
What?
who got you got intuition, right?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
So that means you draw information from yourself. So how you feel about a subject is how you is how you take truth.
True.
Like, you don't need to see the Carfax. If you like the car, you're gonna buy the car.
Right.
That's 100% true.
Right.
Yes, it is.
That's how I impulse buy everything.
Right.
That's a pretty box.
Essentially, it's who does the research before the buy and who just goes, I like that color and that car is fucking sick. I want that. That's essentially what the difference is.
Yeah,
Once it comes to computers, then I do a shit ton of research.
Every time I'm looking for something to buy, like say on Amazon, I go and read reviews, and for some reason I always read the 1 stars too, and that like will get me out of something. Like, it's not like, oh, I like that, so I'm gonna get it. I see like, oh, the paint comes off this very easily. I'm like, next.
I think that's really nice with me and Bob because we're both similar. We both have observant, and I'm the same way. I'm not a very big impulse buyer. If anything, I will have a large stack and I will end up putting things away before I go to the checkout.
I do that all the time.
When we're talking about purchasing, at least, because as I'm kind of mulling it over and looking at it, I'm realizing more and more like, okay, let's think about this for a second. This is actually necessary. What are the pros and cons here? Blah, 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 blah. Where we can clearly see from buying habits of Akko's that is not the case. He's that Ariana Grande song.
I like it. I want it. I need it.
And ours is Thank You Next. We're the other Ariana.
Yeah.
Thank you next.
That's 100% true. Oh yeah.
So
Too many examples.
I think
That cat knows.
I think that one and the structure one are probably the two most confusing of the letter groups.
Career paths. It just goes on and on forever.
Yeah, the career paths one has a laundry list of reading material you can read up on.
Oh my god. No, I just keep getting scared the more I dive into this.
That's what he said.
So was that surprising to anybody? What they got?
That one was not surprising to me.
No.
I don't think actually most of these were that surprising. As far as like the actual letters. Like, some of the descriptions they gave were like, maybe, but I think the letters were pretty... But except for maybe the next one. The next one might be the one I was the most surprised by.
So, although this is a personality test, so it's a reflection of yourself and it's self... oh god, what's it called? Can't think of the term of it, but you're taking it on yourself. If you look at it, a lot of it is like, how do you interact in X situation? So it's situation based, which means it's very social.
Yeah.
So don't necessarily think about it as like you sitting in a room by yourself, but like you within other people. So when you said it was really weird, but then I said if you look at our friend group, where do you fall into? It makes a little bit more sense in those regards.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
So initially, if you're just looking at it from yourself, in like sitting in a room, yeah, some of these can be really bizarre. Because you're like, I'm not nice.
Yeah.
I'm not kind and caring. When really, compared to others, you definitely are. I would categorize you as, anyways. So the next is thinking and feeling, which is very kind of similar to the intuition, where it's it's decision making. So when you're making a decision, I guess I kind of fudged those up. So I said it right. I said sensing and observing is how you draw information, and intuition is drawing information from yourself. But after you draw that information, how do you make the decision? So do you still base it off of, well, I like it, I really want it, okay, I'm gonna get it, which would be a feeling, or okay, I have all this information, XYZ, or even I like it, I want it, but thinking about it, it's probably not the best choice. So thinking and feeling are the two determining factors of that one.
Well, I'm feeling.
I'm also feeling.
So I will definitely buy it.
Well, this has a lot to do, this side of it, I realized,
I'm still gonna buy it.
I think it's this one that has to do with a lot of like emotional awareness and maturity. So
I mean, there's a description on this. You want me to read it?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, so I got feeling. So I don't have the description for thinking, but the description for feeling is feeling individuals are sensitive and emotionally expressive. They are more empathetic and less competitive than thinking types and focus on social harmony and cooperation.
Right. And that's it. And this is, I guess, emotional maturity and emotional awareness, emotional stuff versus, I guess, not necessarily the adverse of that, but more logical, like the Bo Burnham song.
Yeah.
I am the left brain, blah, 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 don't copyright me.
Blah, blah, blah.
Essentially, are you left brain or right brain?
Yeah.
Right, so it's feeling the right brain.
You love Oreos and pussy.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love Oreos and pussy.
I mean, I feel like that's not... Well, I guess this is when I was closest to the line. I was 56%. So I guess that is okay.
65%.
Because when I was first looking at it, that's why I said this was the most surprising to me, because I feel like I'm more of like I like to think things out than just feel it and go with it. But when it was like talking about focus on social harmony and cooperation, that's when I was thinking when you just said about like think about to our core friend group. Well, I'm usually the one that's just trying to diffuse situations before they escalate and things like that. Like I'm where it says social harmony and cooperation and then less competitive.
But now think about this in the regards of what your last one was. So you are sensory. So you look at the physical, and that's what you're taking your information from. Mm-hmm. But you're incorporating it into your emotional state. So you're like, okay, I am looking at this thing. I'm deducting this, and this from it. This is how I feel about it, and that's how I'm going to continue on with like my decision making of it.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're just like willy-nilly, oh, look it, I want it, it's mine, yay.
I like Oreos and pussy.
Yeah. It's you're not necessarily to that extreme. That would be probably a little bit more on the Akko side since he got feeling.
What is your percentage for that?
65.
Okay.
That's my highest percentage.
And Slay, are you and Bob both thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you guys are the opposite of us.
I am always opposite.
Well, this is where I also wanted to make a really big distinction in the difference between, because in my description, it said I make decisions without, with like no emotion, but that doesn't mean I'm emotionless. And I think this was where I bring up the difference between empathy and sympathy. I feel like I am really into psych, and I do love social psychology in general and how people interact with each other. And I feel like that's because I feel like I'm a really good judge of character as far as like reading a room and reading people and knowing exactly where my boundaries are almost immediately upon like meeting somebody. Like I can kind of deduct who they are. And so that would make me like, I'm very good at reading emotions. So I'm very sympathetic. I am not empathetic, even a little bit. Like, you're crying. I understand why you're crying. I understand how you can feel in that situation and why you're feeling that. I don't necessarily feel bad for you.
Yeah.
I mean, and that just makes me not empathetic. So that doesn't mean I don't understand emotions and I'm a dummy and I'm just like, why are you crying? No, yeah. I know why you're crying.
Yeah.
It's whether or not I care.
I'm like the same. I feel like I'm the same way. And for my career field, you're supposed to be empathetic, and I just am not. And like it comes off a lot, like in situations like this just happened like this morning where I was sitting at work and our manager on duty called me to ask like advice on like staffing for the morning. And she brought up that one of our like medication aides want to like volunteer off for the day because had extra staff available. And then another one called in and said that they're not going to be able to make it in because they've been up all night because they recently had to put their dog down and they just been up all night crying. And I'm like, yeah, that's sad, but that's not a fucking excuse not to come into work. And I don't know, my mind was like, get the fuck over it. Like, yes, it's sad, but you gotta go on with your life. But I have that, and I have a lot of other people. There's this one person who is constantly, he had surgery, I'll just say that. He had a replacement of a certain joint, and just every movement he does, he just goes, oh, Jesus, oh, fuck, oh, and he does that, like, non-stop, and I'm just, like, standing, like, because I walk in, he hits his call light, I ask him, how can I help you, and he just does that, and I'm just, like, staring at him, just like,
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's not good for my position to do that, but I'm like, okay, you're in pain, get to the point, tell me that. You don't have to just go through all this, like, speak to me, like, talk to me. I don't know. That's just me.
And that's why we're not feeling.
Yeah, I'm just the
or thinking.
I'm just the old crotchety nurse after being only a nurse for, like, 2 years. I'm just fucking done.
Oh
Already.
I'm ready to retire.
You got feeling, Akko?
I got feelings.
You
Yep.
caught feelings.
I got lots of feelings.
How do you feel about feelings?
Once again, yeah, that's correct.
Although I do think it's interesting, which I know we're talking about it more in social settings, but like, if I were to think of whether or not you're a thinker or a feeler, I probably would have said thinker, just in the sense of, like, you feel a lot of things, but you will never, like, talk about, you cannot put words to feelings.
No.
So I think when other people do, it makes you uncomfortable. Like, if I tell you, like, I'm feeling X, Y, and Z, you just completely shut down and look like a kicked dog on the curb and just, like, stare at me like deer in headlights, have no idea how to respond.
Yeah, I did that too.
But that's because he is a
Mood.
feeler. Because he's not a thinker. If he was able to, like, express himself in actual language, like, he could comprehend. So when you're expressing yourself about how, like, upset you are, and, like, I feel this way, and he's sitting there like a kicked dog, it's because he is feeling what you are feeling and trying to, like, figure out how to help you, because he is not a thinker.
Yeah, well, that's where I lose my patience, because he won't talk. Like, I'll be like, hey, it's your turn. Conversations go two ways. And I have to, like, ask him to talk 12,000 times, where he'll be like, well, I don't know what you want me to say. That's all I ever get. And I'm like, well, not fucking that. Wrong answer.
I've been there.
True.
So
Sometimes, like, I would do that, because Slay would do that a lot, where she would, like, tell me how she's feeling and stuff like that. And I did that same thing. I'm just, like, trying to figure out what to say. And she's, like, waiting. She's like, are you going to say anything? And then I start getting pissed off at myself because I can't come up with something to say.
Yes!
So then I get in a bad mood.
Yours is slightly different. So you go silent and you don't say anything because you're a thinker and you are trying to solve my problem.
True.
Sorry, Akko. You're not... It's not the same issue as Akko because he's trying to process and deconstruct the feelings Kat is feeling. You're trying to solve my feelings. That's why you're not saying anything, because you don't know how to respond in, like, okay, this is what you're saying. This is how you need to fix it.
Yeah, I think what she's saying is, like, you don't know how to fix it, so you stay silent, whereas Akko doesn't even know how to respond to it, so he stays silent.
And I get that, too, because I've also done the thing where I can think of how to solve it. I tell her how to solve it, and then she gets mad at me, and now I'm trying to figure out what the hell I did wrong, because I just came up with the solution, but she doesn't want a solution.
I need somebody to vent to, not somebody to... I know 90% of the time, I know how to solve the problem. That's not why I'm venting. I'm a complainer. I don't need my issues solved. I know what my issues are, and I know how to do them.
If you got a problem, I'll solve it.
Okay.
Ice, baby.
So, like, similar problems, but due to personalities, that's why it's actually different.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay.
I need a grown-up to explain things to me like I'm 5.
Point at me.
Yeah, that's because that is you. Like, oh my god.
I didn't do it. I'm just curious, observant, and I know how to relax.
You didn't know that Slay was smart, guys, did you? I sure didn't.
Nope.
Also 100% true. I have poor practical skills.
Was super
Exhibit A.
random.
Exhibit
He also
A.
Once
can't
again,
focus.
find it difficult to focus.
He's gonna use that as an excuse now all the time when he's like doing something that's annoying me. He's gonna be like, I have trouble focusing because I'm a fucking.
No, you have trouble
container.
focusing because you don't take your medication. It's a joke. I don't actually know if Akko's on any medication.
He's not, but I'm 100% sure he needs to be.
Problems. I don't know. I've never taken that test.
Okay, and then the very last one, which is Kat's most beloved trait of hers that she is very outspoken about, and that is judging over perceiving.
Take a gander as to which one I got. Actually, not by that much though. I'm judging, but only 58%. I thought that would be a lot fucking higher.
Well,
Did everybody get judging?
Nope.
Alright, cool.
you got perceiving.
I feel
Yeah.
like you're kind of judgy too, though.
Duh.
Well,
You got perceiving though, right?
But I think it was by a large margin. Large margin.
Really?
I think it was like 75 to 25.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. It
Wait,
was
so what do you mean 75 to 25? What?
75% prospecting
Oh.
to 25% judging.
Okay, but it's not necessarily like
I'm only 58% in that one.
Me too.
in both situations when you are judging and when you're perceiving, you are I guess viewing something in both cases. So when you're judging, you're still viewing something. When you're perceiving, you're still viewing something.
Yeah.
So it's how you're viewing the world as like a whole.
I'm
And
a
perceiving
nonconformist.
tend to be more open-minded and
Yeah.
tend to be a lot more open to new ideas and learning.
To an extent.
Well,
There are descriptions. Since we have different ones, we can both read what the descriptions are.
okay.
So
Yeah, read them.
for judging, the description is, judging individuals are decisive, thorough, and highly organized. They value clarity, predictability, and closure, preferring structure and planning to spontaneity, which is 100% accurate. I don't know how I only got 58%. That's 100%. Like, that's what that is.
What does prospecting say?
Perceiving.
Prospecting. It
Oh,
says prospecting.
prospecting? Oh.
Yeah.
So prospecting individuals are very good at improvising and spotting opportunities. They tend to be flexible, relaxed, nonconformist, who prefer keeping their options open.
Yeah, slightly true.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see why mine would be 58%.
Indeed. I do love options, though.
You do
Slade
love
does
options,
know
and you're
that.
also very indecisive.
Very. That's
You're
why I don't
very
have a tattoo
indecisive.
right now, is because I've always wanted a tattoo. Can never come up with
So
what I want.
out of all of them, I think this kind of
Yeah.
to you,
Yeah.
like
High five for
why
that.
you were so strong in this one is because I do believe that very strongly that you love having as many options in front of you as possible, but that makes it impossible for you to select anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Options
Bingo.
give me anxiety. That was like one thing my parents
Right.
always told me growing up, is that if I had options, I was always afraid of making the wrong choice, and so I would like panic. Like I got the one time my dad spanked me growing up was at fucking Target because he told me to pick out a coloring book and I could not decide between the two different coloring books, and I threw a tantrum because I could not decide and I was panicking, and he took me out to the car and spanked me, and then I got no coloring books.
I got no.
God.
So
Well, there's not a Xena one here. What am I supposed to get?
true. That would have made the decision easier, but if there was two Xena ones, then how do you decide?
Mm,
You know what I mean?
true.
You're
Can
done.
I get both? No.
Yeah. So I do not like a lot of options.
And then so the girls got judging, the boys got perceiving, and I feel like that fits more into like marital, not ranking, but like where we fit in our relationships, because I am usually
Gender roles.
Well, not necessarily gender roles, because I'm usually the decision maker between the two of us. So that would make sense why I would be the judging one and you would be the perceiving one, which I feel like is the same thing in your guys' relationship.
Yeah.
Kat, you're usually the one that's making the decisions. Akko, you're the one that's kind of just sitting in the back room.
On TikTok.
Yeah,
has
on
trouble
TikTok.
focusing.
Stoically.
I enjoy.
Yeah, you are not good at making. Well, you like having a lot of options too, but you're kind of like me where you don't make decisions that easily. Like, I end up making the decisions, but, like, for example, if you're at a board game store and there are, like, you will, like, sit there and you'll talk to them forever, and then you, like, you took long. We bought this, like, $200 fucking game with a bunch of expansions. The one thing you were hung up on for a while was whether or not to buy the metal fucking coins. Like, you knew you wanted that game, but, like, do I need the metal coins? I mean, I don't really need it, but they're pretty cool. So it's like, at the end, I was like, oh my god, just get the freaking coins, because then if we don't buy them, we're going to come back here and buy them. So then I just had to, like, make the decision for you, but it's just like, I don't know. I think
Truth.
Well, and this kind of wraps into other areas that we've talking about before is, so like Bob, I mainly am just talking to you because I feel like as your spouse, I know you pretty well. Because you're very in the moment, you are not a good planner.
Nope.
Because you cannot think that far in advance.
No, I can't. I never do, never will.
So that's why you're
Always a
more...
procrastinator. Always. It's always saved for the last minute. Like, I feel like, so this really isn't planning, I guess. I don't know. But like we were just all in a wedding for my cousin, and I was the best man in the wedding, and it wasn't until 1 o'clock that morning that I wrote my speech for his thing. Because when I got asked like several months before, I was like, I have plenty of time to write this. All right, I'm going to write this, get this out of the way. Nope, it was 1 o'clock that morning. I was like, oh shit, I better write this.
Akko wrote his vows the day before our wedding.
Hmm?
Akko wrote his vows the day before our
A
wedding.
little bit.
So, that's, I don't know.
Well, it's very true. Do you ever like, you have something due in a few days, but like the next day, you're going to hang out with family or you got a bunch of plans, and you're like, oh, I'll just do it the day after that instead of, putting off one of the plans.
No, my entire schooling career, everything was done the day that it was due. Never really got stuff done early.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, it was
100%.
It was
I mean,
bad.
with like assignments, I was kind of like that too. But like with papers and stuff, I would do them early just because.
Nope, night before.
Like, yeah.
It just like hangs over your head, and I just like didn't like that.
Yeah,
feeling.
but you got other things. You're like, well, we're gonna go hang out with these people that day, and then I got that to do another day, and then it just keeps getting pushed back because you're like, nah.
Because we live here, so you never get to do your homework until like it's 10 o'clock, and
True,
you're
I
like,
have
oh,
a
by the
test
way, I
tomorrow.
have a quiz at midnight. Or due at midnight.
And I also
and I'm
missed
like,
2
what the fuck?
quizzes.
Yeah, apparently he's already missed 2 quizzes.
Oh, nice.
Way to go.
I've been there. Yeah, not a planner.
Nope, not
Planner.
at all.
Planner?
I barely know her.
No. So it's a good thing that baby boy's year is coming up, and you're doing it.
But are you
'Cause
in
it
charge
would
of
not
next
be
year?
getting done.
What do you mean? Like the birthday party?
Yeah, his
Oh,
birthday
oh,
party.
yeah.
You're doing the planning because if I were in charge, no one would know about it yet. So
are you doing it next year?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we'll just save it for the 2 year.
Who needs a first
He's not
birthday
gonna
party?
remember this one anyway.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily. So you can be a planner, but you can still be a procrastinator. Like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm not a procrastinator because like I feel like I'll do it later. I feel like I'm a procrastinator because like I am doing so many other things that it's like I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
And when I do have time for it, I'm like I don't want to do it. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like
from what Bob was saying, it was basically like he's a procrastinator, but he puts other things ahead of that. His own personal
right the
gain.
priorities,
Yeah.
priority procrastination.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because hanging out with us is always more important than doing homework.
Basically, something planned will come up and be like, oh, I got time. Puts it off. Plans change.
Mm-hmm.
Then find out that it's due the night before, and you're like, oh, I don't have time anymore.
Yeah. No, there's been plenty of times where the day it's due where I'm supposed to be working, I was like, I got like 3 hours to complete this. And then I'm like, what's going on YouTube?
or when we did our last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's our topic, Bob?
We didn't know until then. I just came
Didn't
up
know
with it,
until
and
then?
everyone hated it.
I didn't hate it. I like talking
No.
about traveling.
Well, yeah,
No.
you guys have a lot to say. We don't.
Because that night I still had to do homework.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got 2 hours. I got an hour. I can do it.
Well, there's one more topic on here that we can talk about, although it's not necessarily the Myers-Briggs, but it's the assertive versus turbulent. Now, that I have no idea because that's not Myers-Briggs, so I don't...
And I'll start this off since I gotta leave for work here
Right.
soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so I got turbulent, and it was very close because like it was 51% turbulent, 49 assertive, so it was very close.
I'm the same.
Nice. But like reading this, because I thought I was like, no, there's gotta like that is too small of a percentage. Like I should be further away from assertive. But like reading
the thing for turbulent, I'm like, that's not me.
What does it say?
Because this says turbulent individuals are self-conscious. No, I'm always talking myself up. I always look good, I know this. And sensitive to stress. And I don't think so. I mean, usually I'm pretty good with stress. I mean, a lot of stuff irritates me and pisses me off, and I'll verbalize that. But if I'm under a lot of stress, I've been told that it usually doesn't show up. That might be outside. Slade might think differently on that, but outside I've been told that, like, they can't tell that anything's going on with me if there's any stress. It also says they are likely to experience a wide range of emotions and to be success-driven. Not really. Perfectionistic. Nope. And eager to improve. Not at all. So now I know why it's so close. I'm like, that's none of that reflected me that I feel like, but you know me better than I know myself, so go.
I guess I don't know what the other option is. I said, this isn't part of the Myers-Briggs, so I don't know what these two things are.
Oh, you don't have your
What does assertive say?
Well, I don't have assertive. I have turbulent.
Oh.
Everybody, I was the only one that had assertive.
Yeah, and she doesn't have.
And I didn't. Sorry.
So I mean, oh wait, actually, I think I might have screenshotted it. Hold on.
I was gonna say, I can try to look it
up. Assertive individuals are self-assured, even-tempered, and resistant to stress. They refuse to worry too much and do not push themselves too hard when it comes to achieving goals.
That's me. I should be assertive in one aspect of my life.
So that's... I mean, I think, though, I feel like with that one, it's because there's only two options, you're going to have some, like, characteristics in both options. Like, it's not like the other ones.
All of them. All of them. You were either one or the other.
Oh, yeah. I guess I'm thinking because there's 4 of the other letters. But, yeah, I guess each letter only had 2 options. Well, I don't know. Fuck me, I guess. It's trying to rationalize it.
I'm more thinking of it like going back to the confidence podcast. So
Confidence.
if you are confident in yourself and you see yourself as a very like steadfast person, you would have less stress because you wouldn't be so wishy-washy on subjects, or you wouldn't have to put too much thought into everything because you know where you would stand. And then what was the other things? Sorry, I'm trying to make shit up at the top of my head.
Turbulent, self-conscious, and sensitive stress, likely a wide range of emotions, to be success-driven, perfectionistic, and eager to improve. That's for turbulent.
Well, and because you are, because there is a self-confidence aspect in there, that would make why you would strive for perfection. I mean, if you obviously have some self-reflection in there, perfectionism is a big part of, that.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see why they categorize those things as one or the other. I don't know if I would necessarily call you, Bob, turbulent.
Nope.
Pretty.
Nope. And like the thing I saw for assertive is they refuse to worry too much. And there's been like plenty of stuff in our life where you're like worrying about something, and I'm like, why? Like there's nothing to worry about. Mostly it was when she didn't want to be pregnant when we weren't trying, and she was worried that she was pregnant. I was like, we're fine. Well, and I was right every time.
That's because I like to think about, I'm a thinker.
But you have more consequences than I do. I can split anytime. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding.
Oh god.
Well, that's because I'm a thinker and I'm always thinking about the future. I'm not living in the moment.
True. And I am.
Yeah, well, that was all the letter. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that you're turbulent, Akko, because I feel like you're not self-conscious or super susceptible to stress. I feel like you just kind of like let life happen and like let bygones be bygones.
True.
I don't think it really eats away at you. So I was surprised that you got that. Although you were right on the line with Bob.
Well, that's why I'm confused about why there even is an A and a T, because all of those can be categorized as part of the original Myers-Briggs. So like,
because this website just wanted to be extra.
I get, well, the site we took it from was not the official Myers-Briggs because you have to pay for that. Yeah. So this is just their slightly similar knockoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be.
Yeah, it was 16personalities.com.
If
anyone wants to go and take their test, that's the website we went to.
I mean, it was still great, and the Myers-Briggs, I think, asks like 120 questions or something like that. Like, they go very in depth.
Yeah, so it's like a shorter version. It's not nearly that long.
It's not that long. It's
Maybe someday when we have money, we'll revisit it.
Well, I have it. I just need to find it.
Yeah.
Someday when the rest of us have money, we'll...
Well, she could just ask us the questions.
Yeah, well, then we have to figure out the answers.
I would have the answers.
Huh?
I have the answers.
I don't think he understands how it works.
Nope, I have no idea how it works.
He's thinking somewhere you have to go to a test center and like somebody tells you your results based on like not something that you can just look at. Like
no,
a table.
it's a packet. It's a packet. You answer the questions, and then based on those answers, I compare it to another packet that tells me all the results to it, and then I can calculate your score there.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's not that.
I'm feeling no.
Well, that's why that's why you would take the test, and I would be the person telling you your results.
I would go off of my little note thing here, and it would say...
All right. Well, we can wrap it up. That was a boring enough subject. We don't need to go on and on. But I just like the Myers-Briggs. I think it's interesting.
I don't know, I just liked it because it says I'm curious, which I don't understand why. I'm curious to want to do that thing, but also, I am poor practical skills, so I would not fall through.
Anyways, see you next week for Kat's topic.
TBD.
Woo.
I'll think of it before Bob did though. So.
All right.
All right, we out.
See ya.